You are what I'm looking for. I know what I'm looking for.
Okay, complete note card set 3-part mini-series. This is part 2, the envelopes. So last video we left off completing this beautiful box for our envelopes and cards. So we're going back to the Oxford Garden paper pad, and I'm pulling in my Jen-Velope Template Reference Book. This is the paper engineering book. We're going to create envelopes for a 4-inch squared card, and the template tells me that I need paper that measures 7 by 7. So let's get to cutting that paper. So I've gone ahead and selected a bunch of paper from the Oxford Garden paper collection. I'm pulling in my Tonic Studios rotary trimmer. People have asked me many times about this trimmer. I absolutely love it. I was able to cut 4 sheets of heavy pattern paper all at once, and I got beautiful cuts. So I've cut this 12 by 12 down to 7 by 7, and I've got all of these scraps left over. And don't you worry about these scraps. We're going to be using these throughout the rest of this project. So I'm going to set those off to the side. So now I have 4 pieces of paper, and I felt like my color palette wasn't rounded enough, so I added one more. I went back and added that same purple color that we created the box with. So now I've got my paper engineering template book, and we're going to start working on the measurements. So I've got a ruler and a pencil. These are the 2 most important things that you'll need for this particular envelope. And what we're going to do, I'm going to flip it over and work on the white side so that you can really see what I'm doing. I'm going to label each side A, B, C, and D. Okay? Just so that we can reference back to the template very easily. So for the first step, making sure that we're marking on the edge of the paper. That is a very important key here. And we're going to mark at 3 1/4 and 3 3/4. So I'm going to line up my ruler and then find 3 1/4 and mark right at the edge of the paper there, and then 3 3/4 and right to the edge of the paper. Okay, so there's our 2 little marks, and now we're going to rotate the paper and go to side B, and we're going to do the exact same thing. Because this is a square envelope, the measurements on all 4 sides are going to be the same. So I'm going through and making my marks at 3 1/4 and 3 3/4 on all 4 sides. Okay, and then once we're done, we'll come back to the template, and it's telling us to use a ruler to connect the first dot on side A to the second dot on side B. Okay, so that's what we're going to do here. I'm going to grab my pencil, line up the first dot on side A to the second dot on side B. Okay, then I'm going to rotate my paper and continue the same process. So the first dot on side B, and connect that to the second dot on side C. Okay, you see what we're doing here? And then continuing on the last 2 sides. We're going to do the same thing. So side C, first dot to side D, second dot. And then lastly, we're going to go right back to the beginning, and we're going to connect side D, the first dot, to the second dot on side A. All right. So now I've done this with a pencil and my ruler. You don't have to draw the lines like I've done. You can simply make your little marks and then use a ruler and a score tool and skip the whole drawing the line section, okay? Because we need to make creases along those lines. So now, I mean, you can use the pencil and the ruler and draw the lines and then come back and score again, but you don't have to. You can just go direct to scoring. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to go back to sort of step 1 there, and I'm going to line up my ruler, making sure that everything is lined up from the first dot to the second dot, and take my score tool and score and press. I'm just backing it up off of that line a little bit so that my score tool can land right on that line. And then I'll just pick up that little flap and fold it. Okay? And then do the same thing on all 4 sides. Lining up my ruler, scoring on that pencil line, lifting up the flap and folding. Okay, super easy, and this comes together very quickly. And then we have all 4 sides of our envelope scored and folded, ready to move on to the next step. So the next step here is going to be to cut the little tiny triangles that we've made. So this is the good part about using a pencil, because you can really see those triangles and where you need to cut away. And you want to make sure that you're completely cutting away the score line here. So wherever the score is, you want to cut to the edge of that score line. We want to cut that away completely so that it is not sort of sticking out or won't be straight or causing, bulk in the corners and things like that. So coming right along those score lines and cutting them completely away on all 4 sides, making nice straight cuts using nice sharp scissors as well. Really sharp precision tip scissors really help for this. Okay, so that's done. And now it's time to adhere the sides together. So you fold in the 2 flaps, apply adhesive, and then fold the bottom up and seal it shut. Okay, that's how the envelope is formed. Now, obviously, I'm going to come in and erase all my pencil lines so that we don't see those in our finished project. I don't want to see these pencil lines. So I'm going to get rid of those really quickly and then clean up my mess, and then we'll be ready to move on. Okay, so now I'm going to apply my adhesive. Now, because this is a square envelope, it does not matter which is the top, side, bottom. It doesn't matter. They're all the same. So you just apply the adhesive on the 2 sides and fold up the bottom flap, and our envelope is complete. The 2 most important steps to creating a square envelope is making sure that the paper is exactly 7 by 7 inches, and then you're marking your little tick marks right on the edge of the paper, and then you'll get perfect results, just like this envelope, every single time. Okay, and this fits perfectly inside of our little box. Super cute. So now I need to come back and create more. So I need to take all of these beautiful patterns and turn them into the same envelope. So of course, with the magic of video editing, they're done. Beautiful. All 5 envelopes are ready to go inside of our cute little box. So one last thing that I wanted to do before we go today, I didn't like how I had to pull on the flap of the envelope to get the envelopes out. I kind of don't really like that. I don't want to risk tearing it. So I decided to grab a piece of organza ribbon. So I just cut off a random piece, and I want to adhere it down to the bottom of my box to create a little pull to be able to lift my envelopes up. I thought that was a really pretty finishing look, and I don't have to pull on my envelopes. So I came back to my scraps there, and I grabbed a little piece of that purple, the same color we made the box with. I applied some adhesive on the back of it, put my ribbon ends right on the bottom of that piece of paper. I just cut off any excess sticking out, and then I'm just gonna kind of drop it sort of towards the bottom of my box, making sure my ribbon is nice and straight. I'll apply that little strip there. It's a little bit too long, so I'm going to come in and snip it with my scissors, and then it just kind of blends right in, like you don't even know it's there unless you're really looking for it. Okay, and now we can put our envelopes inside and keep that little ribbon sticking up, and then it'll be super easy to grab and pull and lift your envelopes out. And I really love that. It just completes the look for this, I think. Okay, so we're going to stop this video here. In the next video, we're going to finish off this project and we're going to complete the note card set. I hope that you enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend it here with me. If you didn't get a chance to see the first video in this series, I will have it up on screen. The final video to this series will be coming soon, if not already. Also, if you're interested in my template books, you'll find them linked in the description box down below. Thanks again for joining me. Have yourself a lovely day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!